I don't want people to see me as ungrateful or anything like that. I was nervous that that's what this makes me look like.
We've watched as Snow White has been an absolute disaster.
It was a magical time, and I'm a Disney princess, and it was just very magical.
It was a casting announcement that immediately divided opinions online. Rachel Zegler, still grappling with the fallout from Disney's Snow White, has officially secured her next major role alongside Oscar winner Marisa Tomei. While much has been said about Zegler's outspoken leftist views, critics are also labeling her as a spoiled, entitled narcissist.
Studios really need to tell your stars to shut up.
Like, in the eyes of the law, you have to be nice to me, and I'm an adult.
The film, titled She Gets It From Me, is described as a bold, character-driven indie comedy drama. However, within minutes of the news breaking, social media erupted with one burning question. Who's taking a bigger risk, Zegler or the studio that hired her? Weird.
Is that inappropriate? I can only make grilled cheese.
Spoiler alert!
How is Snow White? Rated 1.6 on IMDb. One user lamented, pointing out that this was Disney's first film featuring a Colombian woman in the lead role. Despite efforts to avoid controversy, like CGIing the dwarves to sidestep any potential backlash, the film has been a disaster. On paper, She Gets It From Me could serve as a comeback vehicle for Zegler.
I don't want people to see me in a weakened state.
People have real problems and no one gives a shit.
Tomei plays an aging ex-punk rocker, while Zegler portrays her troubled daughter. The film promises generational tension, redemption, and emotional depth, all elements that indie film enthusiasts cherish. Yet for many viewers still reeling from the Snow White debacle, Zegler's involvement is not just surprising, it's contentious. As a reminder, Disney fired Gina Carano for her controversial social media posts just a couple of years ago, and many argue that Zegler's actions have been far more problematic.
A lot has been said about the fact that Rachel Zegler is a leftist fruitcake, and she is, but she's also just a spoiled, entitled, narcissistic brat.
Almost immediately, reactions poured in. One fan tweeted, "Marisa Tomei deserves better," while another quipped, "Wow, from Oscar-winning roles to babysitting Rachel's PR mess." Some fans were cautiously optimistic about the pairing, but the elephant in the room remained. Zegler is still one of the most divisive figures in Hollywood.
Damn it, Bob, how is Snow White's rating 1.6 on IMDb? I mean, it's the first Disney movie starring a woke Colombian woman that looks like a fish. We even CGI'd the dwarves so no one could be offended by dwarves having jobs.
Insiders were reportedly shocked that this casting occurred so soon after Zegler's press tour, which was riddled with viral missteps and backlash from fans. Many assumed she would lay low or struggle to land another headline role, but here she is, sharing top billing with an actress who still commands respect in the industry. For some, this feels like a bold step toward redemption. For others, it's just another example of Hollywood's tendency to reward failure. She Gets It From Me is described as a raw, darkly comedic mother-daughter drama.
Disney, as you may recall, fired Gina Carano for her allegedly controversial social media post just a couple of years ago. And, Gina Carano never did anything remotely like what Rachel Zegler has done.
Casting Zegler as the troubled daughter of Tomei's character, who is grappling with age, regret, and a family history that refuses to stay buried. This isn't a musical, a fairy tale, or a flashy blockbuster. It's something entirely different, which makes it unexpected for both actresses, especially Zegler. The indie project is being developed by Embankment Films, a boutique studio known for character-driven dramas rather than mainstream crowd-pleasers.
She has this mentality, she's not the only one, that, hey, the only thing that matters is how I feel.
Early press materials position She Gets It From Me as a generational character study focused on inherited trauma and the subtle ways we hurt those we love. In other words, it's designed to earn critical acclaim rather than box office success. Yet Zegler is at the center of it, and for fans who only know her from big-budget musicals and her infamous turn as Disney's latest princess, this tonal shift is jarring. Gone are the ball gowns and CGI sidekicks. In their place are leather jackets, chipped nail polish, and existential dread.
Sorry, Rachel. I guess the world isn't ready for a woke fish-like Disney princess. Maybe the problem is that we didn't make it bad enough.
Insiders suggest that Zegler's team is deliberately pivoting, using this role as a chance to prove she's more than just a controversial figure or a trending hashtag. It's an opportunity to show critics that she can act her way out of the shadow cast by her previous PR missteps. However, Tomei's involvement adds another layer of complexity. An actress with nothing to prove, Tomei brings a level of credibility that could either elevate Zegler or starkly highlight their contrasting experiences.
You are given a golden goose opportunity, and that golden goose is belly up.
This is a significant risk for both actresses. Depending on how the film is received, She Gets It From Me could either mark a turning point for Zegler or serve as a reminder that rebranding requires more than just a change in casting. For most actors, a high-profile flop is just a bump in the road, but for Zegler, Snow White was a full-blown public unraveling. The press tour gaffes, viral backlash, and mocking memes turned what should have been a breakout moment into a cautionary tale. Now, She Gets It From Me feels less like a film and more like a career test. Insiders are curious to see if Zegler can deliver not just a performance, but also the emotional honesty and discipline required for such a nuanced role.
This girl does not deserve a feature-length film, but rather she deserves to be in a padded cell.
Unlike Disney's PR machine, Embankment Films lacks the budget to clean up viral messes or spin a TikTok meltdown into a branding win. This project is about credibility, and right now, Zegler's credibility is on the line. Critics have already expressed skepticism regarding her handling of the Snow White press tour, her comments about the original film, and her infamous remarks, suggesting that Trump supporters never know peace. These factors have painted a picture of someone disconnected from her audience.
You know what? I can't wait to quit social media. I'm like so ready to just throw my phone away. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I know it's gonna happen at some point. And everyone's gonna get mad at me and they're gonna be like, no, we don't need. Or they'll be thrilled and be like,
Thank God Rachel's getting off social media.
The backlash was not merely political, it felt personal, as viewers believed she disrespected the material and the fans who cherished it. While Zegler walks into this film with baggage, Tomei brings a wealth of experience and respect. Known for her ability to convey warmth and authenticity, Tomei's presence could either save Zegler or highlight the contrast in their careers even more starkly.
They flopped so hard in Snow White, trying to be brazen and rewrite history and representative of its modern audience, and we all saw how that went. So maybe, if Tangled ever gets picked back up off the cutting room floor, you stick to what Tangled actually is.
This pairing creates a real challenge for Zegler as an actor. Can she rise to Tomei's level? Can she hold her own against someone with such natural gravitas? If she can, it could be transformative. If she can't, the contrast will be glaring. However, skepticism outweighed excitement. This casting announcement was met with cynicism, not because of the story or Tomei, but because people still don't trust Zegler. For many, it's not just about what she said during the Snow White rollout. It's about how she said it. The perceived arrogance, the subtle digs at the original film, and the dismissal of romantic storytelling in favor of self-importance.
It is a colossal disaster.
So I've got my Baymax blanket, which I use when I have anxiety.
Whether fair or exaggerated by internet outrage, the damage has been done. And every new project she takes on feels like a referendum on her past behavior. In the indie world, second chances are often currency. It's a space where careers can be recalibrated, where stars with messy pasts can prove their worth without the safety net of big-budget marketing. Whether Zegler can reclaim her narrative remains to be seen, but Embankment clearly believes there's still a spark worth nurturing.
Celebrities. They're just like us.
Since the Snow White debacle, Zegler has been notably quiet. There have been no impassioned TikToks, no fiery interviews, and no fresh PR blunders, at least not yet. For those who witnessed the past year unfold, this sudden silence raises a crucial question. Has Zegler learned anything? Moreover, Hollywood has a long history of giving certain performers endless chances, especially those who come with studio backing or early critical acclaim. Zegler was discovered by Steven Spielberg, And that kind of endorsement doesn't vanish overnight, even if public sentiment turns cold. There's also a disconnect between what the industry values and what audiences care about. Casting directors may still view Zegler as a Gen Z voice or a symbol of diversity, even if the numbers don't support that view. She Gets It From Me might be an attempt to bridge that gap, shifting the perception from controversial starlet to serious actor. However, until the industry learns to align its casting instincts with audience reality, the disconnect will continue to grow and Zegler will keep getting booked. Whether viewers show up to watch is another question entirely. Every actor faces a defining moment, a project that either cements their place in Hollywood or sends them scrambling for relevance. For Rachel Zegler, She Gets It From Me may serve as just that, not merely a film, but a litmus test, a chance to prove she's more than a headline, more than a meme, and more than a footnote in Disney's most criticized remake. Yet the lingering question remains, is it too late for her? The internet has a notoriously short memory until it doesn't. While many celebrities have weathered worse scandals and emerged on the other side, Zegler's fallout is uniquely tied to her own words. It wasn't something that happened to her, it was something she actively said on camera, on stage, and in interviews. Even now, her most controversial quotes resurface every time her name is mentioned. At the end of the day, all the insider connections and second chances won't matter if audiences don't feel something real. Zegler doesn't just need to act, she needs to connect. Not through hashtags or sound bites, but through a performance so raw that it cuts through the noise. The stakes are high, not just for the film, but for her career. The internet can be cruel, but it can also be forgiving when someone owns their flaws and delivers something worth rooting for. The question now isn't whether Rachel Zegler deserves another shot. It's whether this is the moment where she finally earns it. What do you think? Can Rachel Zegler truly rebuild her image through this new role? Or has the damage already been done? Is Hollywood giving her a genuine second chance? Or are they simply hoping the internet will forget? Share your thoughts in the comments. Hit like if you're following this story closely, and don't forget to subscribe, because when you're ready to hear what Hollywood really doesn't want you to know, the next video is already waiting for you.